We're doing the Gotham braid, which was invented here in Gotham Beauty Lounge. I'm Mark Weiss, and this is my client Casey. And first we want to start off onto the side. Going to take a diagonal piece, split it into 3, and then we start a French braid, taking up a section on each side and continue along. That one, comb it in, and continue. I like to usually work onto a diagonal so that it fits into the head with the shape and the curve, and to keep it nice and tight as we move along. We will be loosening this up in a little bit, so we don't want to go too terribly tight with it. Make sure we get that cleaned out and continuing. And we're going to draw this all the way to the back of the head. I'm going to use an elastic rubber band. Myself, I like to use the actual rubber ones to be able to hold. A lot of the other rubber bands do hold, and it's nice for the hair, but it will slip a lot of the times, and I do want it to remain taut to be able to hold her hair where I want it. And to get this out, I'm just going to use a pair of scissors and pull up and cut, and it'll come right out without damaging the hair. I started a French braid on a diagonal, keeping it taut, using my comb to section out and comb each piece into the next piece that is running along with the braid, and I braid just a little bit out for movement for the looseness. And then I'm going to be doing something else at the end with my ends. There's 2 different variations to this particular braid. Part 2 of this braid is we're going to start up here onto the other side of the head, and we're going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to start my braid, and from here I'm going to do my parting using my tail comb, combing in, and then continue my French braid, crossing using my diagonal partings. Bring it into your other piece and cross. This is something that can be done at home. It is a little bit tougher to do on your own self, but it's an easy enough style to be able to be done by a friend, because all it really is a couple simple French braids, and we just continue around the head on a diagonal using diagonal partings, and continuing. Tip just a little bit to the side, come right behind the ear, comb in, keep it smooth, keep it neat, keep it pretty. I believe that this braid can be used at any time, during the day, during the nighttime, whichever you feel. It's a very kind of relaxed, fun feeling. It's very fashionista. That if you want it during the day, you can absolutely have it during the day. During the nighttime, you can dress it up a little bit differently. We'll be adding in another rubber band onto this side. Twist and pull. Comb the hair. Now from here comes the interesting fun part, is I'm actually going to start here onto the one side, and I'm going to gently lift. This is the part that's going to give us a little bit of the relaxed feeling. I'm going to have my hand here so that I can have a little bit of that tension, not to, pull my client's hair too much, and will also give me the little bit of leverage to loosen up the braid. And just take it section by section, just loosening it up so we have a much looser, free-spirited feeling. And just keep going all the way to the end. Sometimes just for a little extra, I'll use my fingers just to give that little extra pull. Do you see how much looser, much more relaxed of a feeling that is? And then we will do the exact same thing over onto this side. I always like just a little bit of a lift here into the front where that cross is. It will actually show it a little bit better, a little bit more loose. And it doesn't feel like she has her braid flat against the head. It gives a little bit more volume. The next step is going to be to take these 2 braids, cross them, and twist, and put another rubber band on to hold them together. in a loose fashion. From here, I'm actually going to reach through, grab my two ends, and do a little twist. And then tighten it up a little. Make sure that both braids are up there securely. The final step is I'm going to go through. I'm going to use a curling iron, which is a 3/4 curling iron. And I'm just going to give a little bit of a curl to our ends. You can finish it off in whatever way that you want to, using pins and doing some knots or tying here. But what I'm going to do for my lovely lady today is I'm actually going to curl it because I want more of an evening look to this. Just remember not to use too big of a section, otherwise it will not curl and you will not have the proper look towards the end of this Gotham braid look. I am now going to take and I'm going to flip up, which will be covering the rubber bands that we already have in there. And since we have the curls, it'll have a nice sophisticated look. You can start spreading them out little by little. And this is in a random fashion. There is no set way to stick it in. Just make sure that you have your rubber band covered and to have a nice little flirtatious look to it. Just gonna use a couple hairpins to make sure that everything is where I want it to be. Make sure our pins are not showing. And this will conclude the Gotham Beauty Lounge Flirty Braid. I'm Mark Weiss here at Gotham Beauty Lounge, and I'd like to thank Casey for being my model. And I'd like to thank all of you for watching.